It has been a record-setting winter here in Idaho this year, not in the form of snow. So in today's video, we're going to talk about that, as well as a few projects that we've been working on behind the scenes here on the homestead, as well as an update on the Arson up at the top of the mountain. So stick around. We've got a lot to cover in this video, so let's get right to it. We're going to start today's video down at the bottom, kind of like we do with all these little update videos. You know, we'll talk about the animals, the sheep, the chickens, kind of everything down at the bottom here. It has been a crazy winter, and as you can see, it has not been a crazy snow winter. We have had such a warm winter here in the mountains of North Idaho, and I think that's kind of the story across the board for everybody kind of in like the Northwest area of the United States, up into Canada. I don't know what's going on at the East Coast, but probably similar conditions. So we have had crazy rains here in North Idaho. The drain system behind the house, guys, it works so good. I think some of the weather stations in the mountains recorded, once the storm system, it was over 4 inches of rain in like 30 hours or 36 hours. It was the first time when we have never had water coming into the shop area of our house. So that was cool. Really excited on that. Can kind of hear the eagles coming up. Down here at the animals, it's been a little bit of a fight just to keep their area in like a somewhat, you know, livable condition, just because it's been so wet, so muddy. We had one really big cold snap. It got really cold, guys. Again, set another record there. Negative 24 degrees without the wind chill here at our homestead. All the animals did really, really good. We'll go and look at the sheep here in a second. Last summer, we had a few of these chickens that hatched a few chicks. So I think we're somewhere in the numbers of like maybe 20 chickens, like 19, 18 hens, somewhere in there. So we're getting quite a few eggs a day. We just let a few days go, and I think Liz picked up like 20 something eggs this morning after just like 2 or 3 days. So we're doing really good with the chickens. Come over to the sheep here. Looks like we got chicken out. Sheep are all doing good. We have the ewes mixed in with the rams here, and we've had that for a couple months now. A lot of you guys may know we have a mix of black bellies as well as Katahdins, so we're hoping to kind of cross those two together to get a really good, you know, meat sheep. We put the rams with the ewes on Black Friday, so we are hoping that these ewes have little lambs here. Man, that would be end of March, somewhere in April maybe. So we're hoping that both of them are pregnant. Pretty sure the smaller brown one is definitely pregnant. You can see that she's bulked up a bit. The older ewe, I think she's a bit older. That white one, she hasn't totally bulked up yet. But, you know, we'll see come couple months here. So everybody is doing good here. Show you the hay storage, guys. This is a kind of a unique hay storage. I thought actually we'll go around the other side through the barn. Let's take just a quick break from working on all this so I can let you guys know about the sponsor of today's video, and that is Harry's. And I know that there are a lot of you guys out there, myself included, that was sick and tired of paying high prices for dull razor blades and overpriced grooming products. And once I found Harry's, that solved all of my problems. A lot of you guys may have heard of Harry's for them manufacturing these really precision edge razors and delivering them directly to your door, which they kind of built their company on. And now we are really excited to let you know about the newest addition to Harry's, as they are now sold in all of your local chain retailers across our country. So that means when I am here in town running errands, I can just go up, grab a razor. Since I'm already here, just run by, pick it up, and it's good to go. I want to thank Harry's for sponsoring the portion of today's video. Now let's get back to it. Hi everybody. So we'll go in to kind of our hay storage area here in the barn. And Liz and I put up 3 tons of hay here last summer, and we are doing real good on hay. I don't even know how many we got left. That pile goes almost all the way to the doors, and this is, man, about 25 foot of shipping container here. And then this is what we use, you know, as the barn as well. Got a man door back here, and that's where the sheep live. But all the hay is doing really good. I was a little concerned 2 years ago when we first stored the hay here in the shipping container. I was worried about moisture. I've seen a lot of things with the shipping container and even just metal in general being exposed like this without having insulation. Lots of moisture, but as long as the hay that you put in here is dry, we have gone 2 for 2 now, 2 years in a row. No moisture, no mold on the hay. So it's pretty good, I think. We're doing pretty good. This is a great option for us to store hay in, guys. It's real easy. You can see we can just fit 2 bales right across there. You can stack them nice and tight. Like 2 bales is tight. Stack them in here. I go all the way up to the ceiling. Obviously, we've been picking at it from this side. We load it from the other side, the bay doors, stack it up tight against the man door right behind me here, and kind of just access it right here throughout the winter. So we're doing really good on hay. Really, really good on hay. That's a good thing, though. The barn here is doing pretty good. I got up there last spring on the roof and really tried to seal this seam. We had some really bad, water leaking through the seam where this roof meets the barn here. For anybody that doesn't know, this whole barn and roof system was built by the Rainies when they came here to help us, with the house project. They went kind of above and beyond and did some extra projects for us, and built this here. And it looks like I sealed it pretty good. There still is some water coming through. It looks like this edge rafter, whatever this thing is, this is soaked on the bottom there. So I'm gonna have to do something here this next summer, because it's soaking this beam here too. We don't want that. You can see that this beam has had some more water damage. Almost every single rafter here, it looks like, guys, has had some sort of water damage. So I'm really gonna have to get on the roof here come summertime and try to seal that up really, really good. I thought I did a good job. I got some good paint, like this rubberized thick paint. I put it on there, but obviously it's still getting through. So I'm gonna need to come up with some sort of solution for that. Seems to be that the problem is the water pools on top of the container here, and it needs to run over the edge somewhere, and it's really hard to seal that seam right there where the water is trying to get on top of the roof. I think that was an aspect of this that was slightly overlooked, because the roof is the same level as that. If the roof was just a hair lower, it'd be a lot easier to control it, I think. But all in all, this is, really massive covered area. We got the 4 sheep in here. We run the chickens through here in the summertime, and I think we're looking into getting pigs as well, guys. So we're gonna run pigs through here and also put them in those other pastures that we have throughout the lower landing here. We're gonna be building more pastures once the weather starts to just warm up a little bit more come springtime. Got a few projects planned for this old girl come spring. And man, guys, we have some huge projects up on the mountain planned for the excavator. I don't want to get too far into it quite yet, but we have some big things that are going to be happening up on the mountain here, and it's all going to be done by that. We'll head on up to the house here, show you guys, I think, one project that I haven't shown you guys yet. It's already finished up. Give you an overview of that. We can check out the garden. A little snowy in there. And man, the creek behind me, guys, is ripping. So that means the snow up in the mountains, that's already starting to melt as well. Maybe we'll go do some fishing here this afternoon. Yeah, starting to really go. Super muddy. This is like a mud bog coming through here in the cars. It's been like that for a couple weeks now, just because it hasn't been freezing and we've had so much moisture. Got the garden kind of just, in idle. Needs to be cleaned up come spring. Quite a bit of snow in a few spots still. We blow all the snow from the driveway. Has to go that way, so that's where it goes. Greenhouse is all packed up full of summertime supplies. Show you the rock wall here, guys. It is holding up well. Some of you may have seen the episode of Homestead Rescue that we were lucky enough to be featured on. And Marty Rainey, from here to the left, this is that whole wall that he built in all climb around the backside there and show you that here in a second. This area right here, it's holding up so good. Like massive, massive rocks. This was kind of a nice little spot here to be able to monitor if there's any movement, and as far as I can tell, there's been no movement at all. Maybe these have settled down just a little bit, but as far as this big rock moving into the house, no movement that's been noticeable. And I came in after they left and I stacked these ones up a little bit. Obviously not as clean and nice as Marty Rainey's, but this has been doing what it needed to do. Keep all this dirt back. We need to find a few more rocks, stack them up higher, get it up to that grade, kind of finish this out. But it's just kind of hard to come by rocks this size. It's not the easiest to really show the size in the video here, guys, but these are some massive rocks. This rock here and this rock here are just like unbelievably big. You almost have to see it in person to truly understand how much weight is sitting in all this area. Let's climb around the back. I'll show you that. Figured while we're coming back here, you can see if we're running any water out of our drain. Does not look like we're running water right now, but that is where the water comes out when we, have a good rainstorm going. When that snow was melting just a few weeks ago, lots of water coming out here. We do have a small sinkhole issue. It looks like the water is kind of settled in some areas, or helped the dirt settle, I guess, in some areas. So we need to address that, but check this out, guys. This is the beginning of that pipe that I just showed you. As you can tell, we did have a few spots, this spot and this spot, kind of settled down a little bit. And I think what my plan is, come springtime, I'm gonna come through with 3/4 inch gravel and coat this whole area with just a little bit of gravel, pack it down, and hopefully that mostly keeps the moisture on top of the gravel until it gets to this drain rock here, kind of falls down, seeps down to the bottom of the hole where we have a 10-inch culvert, connects over to that French drain that I showed you, runs over there. That's how the water drains out of here. So that's a project for the summer. And this wall, guys, is holding really, really good. Planted some grass seed as soon as the rainies left, and that seems to be helping tremendously. I threw grass seed all over this hillside as well as on top of the road right over there. And yeah, that has totally helped. Got really lucky that most of it took. The rocks are acting obviously to like hold the mountain back. And the grass is now helping tremendously as well, guys, because that is holding all that loose soil. It's kind of keeping it together, and yeah, it looks really good. We got so lucky. Marty Rainey, guys, I'm telling you, he really did a good job on this wall. It is huge. When I'm up here, and now I'm just at the top of the wall, they built this beautiful bench and like this other little landing area, stacked these other massive rocks up here. I mean, right here, my head is over 16 feet higher. That's the concrete for the garage. So it's really hard to show the magnitude of this wall, but I'm up here right now. So this is a huge retaining wall. Lots of moisture, lots of mountain trying to push down against it, and it's done well. It's done really well. Looks like we do have a bit of sloughing right here. I'm sure we got a few more spots heading up to the top. This road goes up to the top of our mountain here. Big projects planned for this road here this summer, guys. We're gonna make it passable for a passenger vehicle, little all-wheel drive car. We're gonna make it so this road is pretty decent because we have big plans to work with like this whole mountain, top of the mountain, everything. Project in the kitchen here. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I got just a couple clips of me making this kind of epoxy false granite countertop. I started out by just cutting plywood and putting that down as the main base of the countertops. And then I got this stuff called contact paper that is supposed to sort of simulate the look of granite. And it looks pretty close, to be honest. And I stuck that down. It's like a big sticker, a giant roll of sticker. I stuck that down to the plywood, and I was lucky enough to have the wall kind of as the form to pour the epoxy. So I was just able to put painter's tape up against the edge of this contact paper on that outside edge. And I poured this full of epoxy, guys. Super easy. I used about 2 gallons of epoxy, I think, maybe a little less than 2 gallons. I was pretty happy with it. This was the first time I've done anything with epoxy. I've heard both sides to epoxy, you know, both good and bad. And this, I'm pleased with it, how it turned out. We'll see how it holds up. Seems to be doing well so far. This was about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago that I poured this. Seems to be like pretty durable, fairly scratch resistant. I was a little worried about that because when this finishes, it's a very like high gloss finish. I thought you'd be able to see even just fine scratches, but it's not really the case. It cleans up really well, super easy to wipe off, nothing soaks into it. So I'm happy with this. We've been burning firewood all winter, just like usual. It's been a pretty mellow winter, so we've been lucky on the firewood. Still got about, man, a cord and a half left. Probably have gone through hardly 2 cords. Pretty mellow winter for the firewood. Before we head to the top here, talk about that arson case that essentially has a resolution. I want to show you guys this big project that I've been working on. Pretty excited about it. Haven't shown pretty much anybody, so check this out. What we have here is a 1974 Rhinell 25 foot cabin cruiser with the fly bridge. So that means we have controls inside the cabin as well as up on top here, guys. I don't want to say too much about this because I've been working on, you know, kind of restoring it, getting it going. It's already in really good shape. It's been a cool project to work on. I'm gonna have a video coming out on that here pretty soon. That's gonna go on Laid Back Living. That's where all those type of projects are kind of gonna go. You know, anything like outdoors related, fishing, boating, playing on the river, all that's gonna be on Laid Back Living. And I'm excited about this project, guys. This thing is really cool. You're gonna have to see the inside of it. It is mint. It's like going back in time. It's like, it's so cool. 8-track player, everything's works. I'm stoked. I'm waiting on a carburetor. Waiting on one part. That video will be wrapped up. The first video in that series, I guess. So really excited on that. It's been an awesome project. Such a cool boat. Well, let's head up to the top of the mountain here to our mountaintop container cabin that the Rainies put up there for us when they were here. Some of you guys may or may not know, about a year ago to the date of me shooting this video right now, somebody broke into that cabin and set it on fire, essentially. It's been a bit of a road trying to come to a conclusion to solve what happened there. And we do have a resolution. So we'll head up here. Let's talk about that a little bit. All right, well, where do we even start, June? Let's give people the whole backstory on like right here. So 3+ years ago now, when Liz and I were looking for property, looking to homestead, we found this property and we were kind of hiking around, and we hiked up to the top of the mountain here, and we kind of realized like, wow, this is actually a really nice spot, really feasible piece of property. It was affordable, so we bought it, but it was the top that sold us on this property, 100%. Told the Rainies that. Long story short, they built this cabin up here for us, or kind of set the container, cut a door and stuff, and built the deck. And then Liz and I have kind of been doing upgrades to it, you know, over time to turn it into like a mountaintop cabin. Like I said earlier, about a year ago to me shooting this right now. A group of what I now know is 3 kids hiked up here. They were just partying, they were drunk, who knows what else they were doing, and they kicked this door in and they set it on fire. We had some contents in there, like an old mattress, some chairs, just like things we were kind of storing up here to turn this into, you know, a cabin up on top of the mountain here. Well, they set everything on fire. They broke out the windows, fueled the fire, kept throwing stuff onto the fire, and we didn't know kind of what to do, kind of what had happened there. It was a weird time for Liz and I. We didn't know if this was like a targeted attack, if people like hated us for some reason. So we didn't know what was going on. Obviously, we called the cops at the time, you know, filed a report, this and that and the other thing. And kind of that was that. Followed up a few times, you know, months later, and nothing really was going anywhere until there was a girl that, for whatever reason, had information on this whole situation. She waited that long, and I had actually made a post on the local Facebook group page back when this happened, months and months ago, a year ago now, saying, hey, this happened, this is the area where we live, you know, keep an eye out, we don't need this type of stuff happening here, something like that. This person must have seen that post months and months ago, because I get a message on Facebook replying to that post that I had posted months before, saying, hey, I have information on this if you'd like it. Well, of course I said, hell yeah, I'd like it, give me everything you got. She sent me this picture. Sitting here editing this video, guys, and just realized I have so many more pictures of this whole incident that I was able to obtain through different resources. I'll put this picture up right here as well. This is who I believe is the neighbor kid, who I'd like to talk to their parents. And like I said, I'm not gonna put all these pictures up, guys, because it's kind of infuriating, really. But yeah, we have a lot of pictures on that, so back to that. Through this picture, I was able to figure out who this person was. I was able to figure out mostly where this person lived. And I went and confronted this person's parents. Turns out this person is pretty young adult. And unfortunately, he did not live at the home where his parents lived. But I talked to his parents, and they were able to get a hold of him, and he got in contact with me. I guess long story short is, yeah, like I told you guys, there's 3 of them up here acting like a bunch of idiots, and they were just partying and doing all that. And for whatever reason, I thought, you know, we'll give these kids a little bit of leniency. I don't know why I decided that. Somewhere in there's a bit of good person, but I didn't want these kids to get charged with a felony. After talking with the, you know, main kid who reached out with me, I could hopefully get a sense that, you know, he was somewhat remorseful. He realized, like, man, he really did mess up. And I'm all for giving someone a second chance. So what I was able to do is reach out to my attorney. We came to an agreement. You know, the group of us came to a settlement, I guess, outside of court without having to pursue charges against these kids. And basically, you know, if they mess up over the course of the next year or two, I can just press charges against them. I have up to 7 years to press charges against these guys. Since it's a felony, since it's arson, yeah, if these guys mess up, I have up to 7 years where I can go back and press charges on this case from 7 years ago. So that's kind of a nice reassurance. And it kind of lets these guys know, like, hey, you're not totally off the hook. If you guys screw up, you're toast. You're screwed, basically. So that is what happened there. It was not a targeted attack, thankfully. It was just some kids that allegedly stumbled upon this place while they were drinking. Pretty stupid set of kids, group of kids, to go so far to set something on fire. Turns out, you know, one of them lives just right up the road. His parents are neighbors to us. So if his parents see this video, you know, I'd love to talk to you guys, because I don't want to have a, you know, ill feeling towards neighbors that I've never met because your kid did something on our property. So if they see this video, I'd love to chat with you guys. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened here. So in a sense, it's in the process of being taken care of. So that's that. Like I said, it was nice to know that this wasn't a target attack. We can kind of get back to doing stuff. You know, hopefully we can keep these type of people out, these drunk kids, these tweakers, keep them off of our property. Idaho's a Second Amendment state. It's a castle doctrine state. You know, you do have the right to protect your property to a certain degree. So there's totally an incentive for people to stay off our property. Yeah, luckily it all kind of came to that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Keep tuned, you know, for the springtime once we have some good projects coming up. We got that boat project coming out on Laid Back Living. So if you're not subscribed to Laid Back Living and you want to see those outdoor type of videos, be sure to subscribe to that channel. Stay tuned for any, you know, videos coming out here. As springtime comes up, we got a lot to do here. We've got a lot of projects planned here on the homestead, as well as all like the regular projects. We got the sheep going on. We got the garden to tend to here come spring. So lots going on here. Appreciate you guys watching, and I guess we'll catch you in the next one.